That was so easier than I thought, Adaku commented as soon as they bypassed the territory of the beast. You really think so, Adaku? O.G.B.A.N.J.E asked mockery. Of course I do, Adaku negate back at O.G.B.A.N.J.E. Well, let's hope that the next one would be as easier as this one too, O.G.B.A.N.J.E said as they kept on walking, O.G.B.A.N.J.E leading her. Next one? Adaku asked surprisingly at O.G.B.A.N.J.E, who didn't stop to see the surprised look in Adaku's face. Yes, Adaku. Do you really think Hamir would make whosoever that wants to see her an easy access to her? Think again. O.G.B.A.N.J.E told Adaku, who still wore a look of surprise written in her face. Without uttering another word to O.G.B.A.N.J.E again, until they finally got to a small river. At the other side of the river stood a big dark cave. Did you see that cave across this river? O.G.B.A.N.J.E asked as she pointed at the cave across them. Adaku looked up to where O.G.B.A.N.J.E was pointing and nodding her head. Yes, I am seeing it. What has that got to do with me? Adaku asked O.G.B.A.N.J.E. That is where Hamir reside. To get to her, you must cross this river. It may look so small in your eyes, but it's way more deeper than you think, O.G.B.A.N.J.E said. Then how do we cross it then? Adaku asked as they proceeded alongside the bank of the small river. We walk on it, O.G.B.A.N.J.E replied nonchalantly to Adaku. Walk on it how? Adaku questioned to be sure of what she just heard. To be able to cross to the other side, you must sing praises to Hamir. Failure to comply would make you sink to the bottomless river where her pets of human flesh-eaters lives. Remember, Adaku, you must sing praises to her name if you wish to meet your daughter, O.G.B.A.N.J.E said to Adaku with caution and warning laced in her voice. How come you know of everything in here? I am her mother, and you are not, yet she told you all of these and not me. Adaku said, all of a sudden, suddenly jealous. You seem to have forgotten so soon that Hamir gave out her instruction before she went into her deep slumber, knowing fully well that one day you may seek for her help. You may have forgotten, but I haven't. I see, Adaku said after a while. Enough of the talk and let's finish what we've started. My son, I still ask again, do you think giving Ogbanje back her memories from her past life would prevent what you just told me now? The queen mother of all Ogbanje asked Amadioha, who stood before her with his back facing the queen. Without facing her, my queen, something will soon go wrong in the human world. The feeling I am having is so strange. And if Alolisa isn't prepared for what is coming, she might not survive it when it comes. Amadioha gently said, You seem so sure about this, Amadioha. No one, I repeat, no one dares threaten my daughter and live to tell the story. Whosoever that tries it will receive my wrath of anger. She looked at Amadioha with kindness, but her eyes tells otherwise. I know you can never forge such a thing for me to retrieve my daughter's memories back, because if I find out regardless you are Chukwulisa's son, I will personally deal with you. The queen added with a tone of warning in her voice. Amadioha, not affected by the threats, laughed out at the threats. He was only giving the queen her respect because she was Alolisa's mother. If not by now, she would have regretted ever omitting such words to him. For Alolisa, he would do anything. Amadioha turned around to look at the queen mother, who has started staring at him in a strange way. Yes, my queen, you can do as you wish, Amadioha said, and gave out a sad sigh, his eyes flashy a little bit. I feel something bad is about to happen very soon. I want Alolisa memories back. I want her to know of her past, her powers, and more about you, my queen. In the days ahead that I won't be around her, I would love her to defend herself. I won't always be there for her. Please, I think it is time Ogbanje regains her memories. Amadioha told the queen mother, who fell in a deep thought. I will break the oath she took with me. She shall regain her memories back in no time. The queen mother said, Thank you so much, my queen. Amadioha said, bowing a little to the queen mother, and left her presence. Father, I am now healed, Obinwana said to his father joyously as he leaped in the air for joy and happiness. True to Ebuka's words, the swollen on his two cheeks ceased to grow and decreases in size, that before it had gotten to the given time, Ebuka has said it had gone down completely. His cheeks were back to normal. Omenkanaya was elated when he saw his son well. Let us not forget the promise we had made to Ebuka in Amadioha's name. Omenkanaya quickly added, I know that, father. May Amadioha be praised, Obinwane said thankfully to Amadioha. Father and son went on celebrating throughout even their guards were not left out. Having successfully crossed to the other side of the little river, they walked steadfast towards the dark cave. On getting to the dark entrance, O.G.B.A.N.J.E stopped in her movement, making Adaku halting in hers. Odogu Nwatanwayi, we have come once again to seek for your great help, O.G.B.A.N.J.E said to the Quieten area, her voice echo inside the caves. Is that Arima's voice? A female voice asked as her voice vibrated around them. You guess right. Your mother is here with me. She wishes to see you. O.G.B.A.N.J.E, now being called by her real name, answered. I hope Adaku brings me what is pleasant to my hearings, Hamir said, as her voice was now getting closer to them. They heard a faintly footstep coming and walking slowly to them. Adaku couldn't reply back. Soon a young lady came into their view. The young lady began stretching out her body, for it being stiff for those years she had slept. She was a great sight to behold. Beautiful, tall, ebony. In fact, words failed to describe how elegant she was. She looked at the two women in front of her. It's been a long time I've seen you both. I hope your coming here brings me the good news I have been expecting from you. Tell me what happened and why you want to see me, Adaku. Hamir said, going straight to the point. My daughter, is this the way to greet your mother, whom you haven't set your eyes on for so many years? Adaku said, Oh, forgive my manners, mother. Can you now go straight to the point? Are they still alive? Hamir asked, silently waiting for a response. Chidinma is dead. Adaku began slowly, and Hamir smiled in happiness. Her beautiful ebony face were all brightened up, but the next words of Adaku's put an end to that smiling face. What did you just say now? Hamir's strident voice filled the air, and thunder was heard somewhere above them. I said Ogbanje is still alive and she's stronger than me. That is why I am here. Adaku repeated herself again to Hamir, who growled in a very animalistic way at Adaku. After so many years, you couldn't kill a mere child, a mere princess of the Ogbanje's kingdom. You, Adaku, my own mother, couldn't defeat a brat like Ogbanje, Hamir said in a very angry tone. You don't understand, my daughter. Ogbanje proves to be stronger than my expectations. Ask Arima, the task isn't an easy one. She has the backing of a strange god and she is under the protection of him. Hamir, I have tried and tried to kill her, but she just couldn't die. I came with the hope that you are Ogbanje's match, in fact more than her. The truth of my reason waking you up is to tell you that I give up in killing Ogbanje. I have tried my best and now it's your turn, Hamir. Adaku said as she and Hamir were doing eye contest. One fearfully, the other in anger, turning to face O.G.B.A.N.J.E. Is Adaku saying the truth, Arima? Hamir asked. Yes, she is saying the truth, Hamir. I too can't defeat the girl. She is way too powerful for me. O.G.B.A.N.J.E told Hamir. Onye sinwata jiden kapin wuru anwu, nyekwanwahu miriogeji wikwor aka. He who sends a child to touch a dead rabbit should also provide water with which the child would wash her hands. Before the sun rises on the third day, Ogbanje will die by my hands. Hamir announced boastful to the hearings of Adaku and O.G.B.A.N.J.E. But there is always a human boy that goes with Ogbanje every time and every day. To get her, we must use him. Adaku said. And what is this human name? Hamir questioned. His name is Ebuka. Adaku replied. You can now go back and leave the fight for me. I shall get back to you. Hamir waved off her hands and Adaku and O.G.B.A.N.J.E disappeared. They both appeared. It is time to return to my earthly body, O.G.B.A.N.J.E, until next time. So saying, she disappeared. Ebuka woke up quickly from his bamboo bed when he heard the sound of thunder from above. Who has such powers to call upon the thunder? It wasn't his father who did that, or was he? Ebuka pondered all night as his questions were left unanswered. Ogbanje had woken up very early that morning before the cock crow and was going about her house chores when Ikemefuna made his appearance, known to Ogbanje when she was about going to the stream to fetch water they would use for the day. She was surprised when she saw Ikemefuna standing beside their bamboo gate as if he had been there for long. You again, Ogbanje began harshly at Ikemefuna. What is it? Have I not warned to stay away from me, eh? So what are you looking for in my father's compound with your two left legs? Ogbanje added angrily at Ikemefuna, who stood transfixed on the spot, staring lovely at Ogbanje. Ikemefuna wasn't moved by her insult or her tone of harsh way. In fact, he loved this side of her and fell deeply in love with her the more. So can't I no longer see my Ada as I pleased? I've been standing here for a very long time watching you, and I have come to realize that you are not only beautiful but hardworking. There and then I know deep within me that I have grown to love you so much that if I don't have you, no one else will. Ikemefuna answered Ogbanje in a very cheerful way. I can see you woke up by the wrong side of your bed this morning to utter such rubbish, omitting out from that stupid mouth of yours, but I will pretend that I did not hear anything. Ogbanje said rudely to him, and made as if to pass him with her udu, earthen pot. When Ikemefuna quickly stretched out one of his hands and grabbed hold of Ogbanje's hand, he roughly drew Ogbanje closer to him and forcefully kissed her against her wish. Ogbanje, who was not expecting that move from him, was thrown off balance when Ikemefuna kissed her. A round of slap echoed around them, and Ikemefuna suddenly released his hand to rub his left cheeks that seemed so hot. He wasn't expecting that from her, and so was surprised when she slapped him with a full force. Ogbanje started throwing out some spit from her mouth as she placed her pot beside her waist and uses one of her hands to clean her lips where Ikemefuna has kissed. This should be the first and last time you would do such a thing like that again. Next time it would be your balls I will kick to prevent you from having children, Anuofia. Ogbanje told Ikemefuna in a very angry tone. But to her surprise, Ikemefuna laughed out to her, ranting. You keep surprising me, Ada, and I keep on loving you the more. Can't you see we are made for each other? I love you so much, Ada. At least find it in your heart to love me the way I do to you. I can do anything for you, Ada. Anything, all I ask is for your love. And like I have told you earlier on that you woke up from the wrong side of your bed this morning. As you can see, I have other things to do this morning and I'm doing one right now. Ogbanje said, not moved by his words, and turned to leave for the stream when Ikemefuna once again grabbed hold of her from behind, immobile her two hands, and pressed her hard against his chest. Her udu fell off from her and miraculously not break. Ogbanje started struggling against his hold and uses one of her legs to hit Ikemefuna's manhood. The hit was so hard, but still Ikemefuna wouldn't let go. He placed his head on the shoulder blade of Ogbanje and kissed it, breathing in her scent. With his face, he nuzzled at her cheeks in a tender way. Ogbanje ceased in her struggling once she found out none of what she was doing was affecting Ikemefuna. I won't do anything against your wish, Ada, but be rest assured that I might change my mind. Don't think I don't know about your stupid lover Ebuka, and don't also think I don't know who he really is. Ikemefuna suddenly told Ogbanje against her ears. What are you insinuating? Ogbanje asked, trying not to be surprised at his sudden outburst. Don't pretend as if you don't know what I'm getting at. I know you know who I am. Your lover must have told you my real nature. But whatever he told about me are all lies, Alaolisa. Right from the day one I had set my eyes on you, you have become mine. Ikemefuna told Ogbanje in a lovely way, caressing her neck with his mouth, with a strength that Ogbanje didn't know she has. She grabbed hold one of the hands of Ikemefuna and flung him off her with inhuman strength. She quickly picked up her pot. Ikemefuna managed to land it on his feet a few feet away from Ogbanje. He wore a look of surprise on his face at what Ogbanje just did to him. It was an unexpected move. She took him by surprise. Ogbanje smirked at him at his bewildered face he was making. This should be as a warning to you, Ikemefuna, or whatever your name is, because next time you tried such a thing to me, I will make sure you regret ever knowing me, rubbish. Ogbanje hissed and hurriedly left him going towards the road that leads to their village stream. Ikemefuna smiled to himself. She is as strong as she was in her former life. Alaolisa will become his. Your stubbornness makes me love you the more. I like challenges. Even Amadioha himself knows that. Ikemefuna said and disappeared. Uhamiri paced around in her dark cave as she cleverly drafted out a plan. Adaku couldn't defeat her stepsister because of a stupid power she possesses. She would make sure she makes Ogbanje suffer so much that Ogbanje would be begging for death. What kind of powers does she think she has that would make my mother not to defeat her? Uhamiri said to herself. Ogbanje had mysteriously survived after the deaths of her siblings, but this time her death would be so easy. She would soon know what powers Ogbanje possesses, but first she has to come down to live with them. That would be the plan one. Ogbanje had better be ready for her. My dear husband, please, I have a request to make, and it would so gladly my heart if you support me in it. Adaku began softly that night. as they had earlier on finished their supper and everyone had gone to bed. Okoro had came to Adaku's hut to quench his growing groin like he normally did and were laying on her bamboo bed when Adaku brought out the topic. "And what can that be, Adaku? If it is within my powers and a good cause, then I will grant your request," Okoro told his wife. "Well, it is nothing much, my dear husband. You know when you got married to Ogbanje's mother?" Interrupting Adaku. "Have I not warned you to stop calling my Ada, the Ada of this family, that name?" "Adaku, this should be the first and last you will refer Ada as Ogbanje," Okoro warned Adaku angrily. "I'm so sorry, my dear husband, it fell out of my mouth by mistake," Adaku said, pretending to be crying. Okoro's anger faded once he saw the tears on Adaku's eyes. "Is okay. You of all people should know I don't like it when Ada is being called that name. Ibezina, don't cry," Okoro said lovely to his wife. "You were about telling me something, my heart?" Okoro added the words made Adaku so happy within her. "As I was saying before, when you got married to your first and now dead wife, I left you angrily." "Yes, how would I not remember? You left that same day. I searched for you everywhere but couldn't find you," Okoro said softly, loosing Adaku's wrapper. "Well, I went to stay with my great-grandmother mother. Okay, I see no crime in that, but what has that got to do with what you'd want to tell me?" Okoro asked Adaku. "While staying with her, I made a friend amongst my great-grandmother people. She was a widow. I just heard recently that my friend is dead, and her only daughter and child is homeless. After the death of my friend, her husband brothers took everything away from the child my friend left behind. Why I am telling you is to plead with you and request that her daughter stays here for the time being. Please, Dimmo. My husband let her come because I had given her my words that you will agree to it," Adaku said in a pleading tone to Okoro. Okoro's hand stopped his movement on Adaku's shoulder as he placed his hands on his legs. He was in a deep thought. Adaku's fingers started caressing Okoro's hard chest. "But how can you make such a decision without my consent? How can you promise a girl, someone I had yet to meet, that I would permit her to stay with us?" Okoro said in not so happy voice, "I know that, my husband, and that is why I am begging you to accommodate her. You see, her late mother was very good to me. She treated me like I was her own sister. She healed my broken heart and encouraged me to wait for you that one day we shall be together. I cannot let my best friend daughter roamed about in that village. Please, my dear husband, think about it." Okoro heaved out a sigh. "I have heard you. You may bring the girl any day that pleases you, but know if at all she hurts any of my children, you and her would have yourself to blame. I hope you don't regret bringing in this stranger," Okoro said finally as Adaku leapt for joy. "I won't regret one bit," Adaku said in all smiles. "Mama, I greet you." Ebuka greeted Adaku when he saw her with a beautiful young lady, his Alaolisa age mate perhaps. He was on his way home from the farm that hot afternoon when he saw Adaku and the strange, beautiful lady beside her. His younger brother, Emenike, was carrying a basket full of yams. He also greeted Adaku and the lady. "My son, how are you?" Adaku answered his greeting with a forceful smile. "I am fine, Mama. I hope there is no problem?" Ebuka asked. His eyes couldn't leave the strange, beautiful lady. Something seemed odd about her. He couldn't place his finger on it. The strange lady eyes were on him also. "Everything is fine, Ebuka. How is your mother?" "She is fine. Nene, I better be on my way now. Greet all your family for me, oh." So saying, Ebuka left them. "Who is he?" Uhamiri asked once Ebuka and his brother were out of spot. "Well, that is the Ebuka I told you about, the one you have to kill to get through ogbanje," Adaku explained. "He is the Ebuka," Uhamiri mused. I won't kill him then," Uhamiri said afterwards. Adaku was astonished at what she said and looked at Uhamiri in bewildered. "And why is that, if I may ask? Don't tell me you can't kill a mere human being Ogbanje is always protecting," Adaku said. "It is not that, Adaku." "Then what is it?" Adaku protested. "I am attracted to him, Adaku. I want to make that young handsome man my husband," Uhamiri replied in all seriousness.